Hey guys, having talked to over 170 people already about their recovery from ME/CFS or long COVID, I've learned that while recovery definitely is possible, it usually takes a while. Rapid recoveries are the exception, but they are incredibly exciting when they do happen. And today's interview is an example of just that. Hi, everyone. I'm Raelan. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel, we explore recovery strategies and share real life stories every week to learn as much as we can from each other. In fact, these interviews are now part of a research study to discover what helps most people regain their health. I'm super excited to have Kelly with us today over in New York. Just 4 months after starting a recovery program, she completed a 10K run and is now training for a full marathon. So let's dive in and hear about her incredible journey and how she went from barely making it through the day to now running incredibly long distances. Kelly, so great to have you here today. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your story.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So take us back, to the beginning or before the beginning. How did this all start for you? How did you start to notice that something was off and you weren't well?
Yeah, so I typically am a very active person and I usually have a lot of energy to do different activities. But there was a phase in my life where I just started to get really tired and I didn't have the motivation to go out and do as many activities. And so I just started to notice things like laying in bed, I would get these canker sores, and just overall not feeling the best.
And did you go to see a doctor, or what did you think was happening?
I did go get my blood work done. I thought maybe it was low iron or my electrolytes, but my blood work came out pretty good. And I thought maybe it was something mentally that was causing this.
And what made you think that?
Just because I went to multiple doctors and they all said the same thing, that everything was perfectly fine for my vitals, my blood work, but still I was getting lightheaded when I was standing up. I didn't have as much focus during the day. And the worst symptom was the mouth sores, which I thought maybe had to do with me not handling my stress well.
Okay. So it sounds like the doctors essentially sent you away with nothing and you were left to figure this out on your own. So what did you do from there?
So I heard about this program, I Can Thrive, and I was referred to the program by a family member. And so I went to therapists before this to try to figure out some skills, but none of them were as helpful as this program that I started to use.
Okay, that I've had Jason on the channel before. That's Jason McTiernan's program, correct? I Can Thrive.
Yes.
Yeah, I've interviewed a lot of people actually on the channel who have gone through his program and have recovered, and interviewed him himself. He's a great guy. So, what was it like going through the program for you, and how do you think that it helped you to get past this and get where you are now?
In the beginning, I was a little skeptical because the program does have like a hypnosis type of effect in it, where you're going through and imagining yourself at ease in a situation and trying to bring that into the future. So I never really had that type of technique. But once I really committed to learning the program, it really made a difference. And I could use all these little techniques in situations when I'm by myself, such as like when I was driving in the car, I would get anxious, and you really train your brain to think differently.
Yeah, it is. The whole program is based around, I know a big component of it is this brain retraining piece, which so many people are finding incredibly helpful with their journey. Had you heard of anything like this before you started doing this?
I heard of going to a hypnotist, which I never went to, but I know some people like that. I also heard of the EMDR techniques for therapy, so the eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing. But I never really tried his method.
Yeah. I asked because it can be a different way of thinking about healing than we usually do from what our doctors tell us, from what we grew up hearing about how you get well. Typically it's some sort of medication or, surgery or something. So to work with your brain to heal your body is a completely, paradigm shift that we're in right now in understanding healing and symptoms. So once you started doing the program, how quickly did you start to see progress?
I started to see it maybe 2 weeks after. It was pretty quick. And compared to some other cases, I know Jason said that mine was a quicker recovery. But yeah, it really changed. Within 6 months, I was back to feeling fully well.
Wow. And since then, you're even running 10K races. Can you tell us about that? And what did that feel like?
That was great. My first 10K that I ran that year, it was just motivating me to get back out there and challenge my body with physical activities. Right now, I'm training for a full marathon with some of my friends. And before, I don't think I would have had the mental stamina to do that. And now I just have that positive affirmations and changing the way of my mindset from fixed to growth. And it really has made a difference.
Yeah, going through these things does seem to transform people. It's a horrible thing to go through, but thankfully, there's a lot of good that comes out of it. Have you noticed other changes within yourself for how you live your life now versus before you went through this?
Yeah, I definitely think that I am more eager to surround myself with people who have the growth mindset that they want to continue to challenge themselves and get better. I also use a lot more of empowering statements where I didn't realize that saying, like, I am anxious is disempowering, but instead you could say, I am on my way to getting better. And that's more of a journey rather than, oh, I'm stuck at this state of anxiety. So definitely having those skills to keep positivity in my mind has helped my progress.
Yeah, it sounds like you took a lot away from the I Can Thrive program, although it's meant for CFS and long COVID and similar conditions recovery. But like a lot of programs or like a lot of things that we do, you learn a lot of tools that end up serving you in life
Right.
past this and beyond this.
Yeah.
So when you're going through the program, if someone's watching it and they are thinking, oh, this might be a good fit for me, what does it look like to actually do the program? Can you tell us what an average day or week looks like?
Sure. So in the beginning, you'll start to meet with Jason more frequently, and he will guide you through the meditating process. You also have access to the resources. So there's online videos that he'll send you. I think one of the best parts of this program is how personable Jason is. So I would get text messages randomly throughout my recovery saying, I just climbed a mountain. I know you can do it. You're doing great. And it's just great having someone who believes in you that much, even though we were complete strangers. And the program focuses on, like you said, heavy resources. So we would do our coaching sessions. I would watch the videos. He would recommend audiobooks and he'd give you free copies over email and just pointing you to different authors that have similar experiences. So you see that the evidence is out there that this program's working.
Amazing. And do you feel fully past this now? Is this officially behind you?
I think there's still some days where I do feel very tired, but I have now these tools to fix that. So obviously, life is stressful. I'm still going to have some anxious moments, but I can refocus and use these tools to pass it.
Yeah. I think that's a really good answer because, I mean, the question itself really, what does it mean to be fully recovered and fully past this? Is anyone ever really, because these are things that were happening in our brain and our nervous system and, trying to send us signals and alarms. And we want those things to keep working. So we're going to keep having symptoms and different things in our lives to let us know what's going on. I guess the great thing is that we walk away feeling not scared of that because if something does pop up, like, okay, I've got the tools, I know what to do, I can get past this. Yeah. So for you, would you have anything that you'd want to say to people who are watching right now who are still on their journey, maybe feeling a little bit lost or hopeless, or anything that you'd say to yourself if you could go back during those times?
I would definitely validate what you're feeling, even if you haven't found any doctors or any social support that has the same experience. There are people out there who have these chronic fatigue syndromes, whatever they're facing, and this program truly could help. All you need really is to be pointed to the right resources. And, just like Jason, he'll always tell you that you got this and it's a journey. So you can't just keep comparing yourself to where you've been. Like you're on the right path to recovery.
Amazing. Well, I'm so, so happy for you, Kelly. This is incredible. I'm happy you connected with Jason. And yeah, wishing you just amazing things from here. I appreciate you taking the time to tell your story. I know it will mean a lot to people to hear it. It's always great to see that, hope on the other side, and that you can turn things around quite quickly sometimes. It sounds like yours is, I always say, radical success is the exception, not the norm. So, I don't want people watching to feel discouraged if their recovery doesn't happen in 2 weeks. I know overall it took longer than that, a few months for you guys. So, yeah, it is just really encouraging to see that you can turn things around, and sometimes really quite quickly. So, yeah, thank you so much for doing this today. I really appreciate it, Kelly.
Yeah, thank you.
For those of you watching, looking forward to your comments as always. And I will link up here if you're interested in learning more about Jason McTiernan and his program, I Can Thrive. I'll put a video here to help you get a better sense of what that's all about. So yeah, thank you again, Kelly. Thank you to those of you watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope to see you in this next one here.
Thanks, Rhiannon.